The text module, along with several other modules, uses what's called a rich text editor that allows you to be able to format your text. To access the text editor, you simply roll over the blue drop-down arrow and choose Edit Text. When you do, you'll see that you have two options up here, Basic Text Box and Rich Text Editor. If we click on Basic Text Box, we'll see that all of our options there disappear, and we're left with just plain text. If we click on Rich Text Editor, we'll see that we have lots of different options up here. And I'll briefly mention these options in this tutorial, and then I'll show you in depth how to use some of these options in a later tutorial. The source button here is how you'll see your HTML code. So if you click on source, you see that you actually have these paragraph tags down here. That's your HTML code, and that's how you'll enter HTML code if you want to do that. I'll show you how that works in a later tutorial. You can preview what's going on. You can actually have a few different templates that you can enter. So if you wanted to have an image and a title, or two columns, you could do things like that. You can copy and paste. If if something's highlighted, you can see we can cut it or copy or paste it. We can paste from Microsoft Word or print. Depending on the browser that you're using, there's a spell check option. I'm on a Mac on Firefox, and that spell check's not enabled. But if you're on a PC on either Firefox or Explorer, you'll see that spell check option there. You can search. You can have a find and replace feature. You can do remove the formatting from your text or select all of your text. If you see, I'll click on that. It selects everything down there. You have your styles. These will be really familiar for you from something like Microsoft Word. You've got these styles up here. You can do a list. So a numbered list you'll see there. A bulleted list. You can do indenting. So let's get rid of the bulleted list, and I'll show you. You can indent like that, or take it back a level. Justify, obviously, left, center, right, or justified. You'll be familiar with most of these from using your word processor program. You can create links by just clicking on this link button, and I'll show you how to do that in a later tutorial. Anchors, if you're interested in creating anchors, if you have a lot of text, you can do that here. You can insert images and flash and tables and horizontal lines and happy faces. I'll click on happy faces. You see you have lots of different options up there. You can do special characters. So you've got, again, lots of options for special characters. Let's see, different styles. You have options for different styles. Let's go ahead and show you some of these. You got a couple different options for styles, a couple options for formatting, a couple options for font. And let me mention one thing about font. You'll notice there's only 6 options here. You can actually use whatever font you want. You would just create a document in Microsoft Word, use whatever font you want, copy and paste that into here. It would stick with that font as long as the user has that particular font on their computer. If they don't, it's going to show one of these default fonts. So we recommend that you actually just stick with these default fonts, so your website will look the same regardless of the computer. You've got your size options here, extra small, small, and so forth. You can do some colors, some highlight colors, and then you have this option here where you can actually show the rich text editor as a full screen. And you see this takes up my whole screen here if you were doing some bigger projects. And if I click that again, it'll take me back down to where it's small. So that's the general rundown. Now I'll go into several of those features in more depth in future tutorials.